Good morning. Welcome to another Spectrumx BBR. In this series, we've been talking about the basic steps of setting up a business. So I called it Basic Business Realness. I've set up this series to help anybody consider going into a business, or people who are already in business and would like to go and start again, or just basically review to make sure they have a good foundation. In this series, we have talked about 3 stages: planning, setup, and go, being in business. In the planning stage, we had covered business plan, business structures, and a business name, how to choose a business name, and the importance of choosing a business name. In the setup stage, we talked about having a separate bank account and a separate credit card, and how important it is to separate yourself from your business. And we talked about stewardship. We talked about having a domain name, a website, and an email account that looks professional, as opposed to Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, or any of those other things. We want to set you up so the world can see you in a professional way. Today, we're going to talk about the government and knowing what you need to do. So, excuse me, let me just get down there in my notes. So, do you register for HST? It's a common question I get asked all the time. If you've done your research, you'd know that under 30,000 in revenue, you don't really have to register for HST. By definition, you would be called a small supplier. So the definition of a small supplier is: a small supplier refers to a person whose revenue, along with the revenue of all persons associated with that person from worldwide taxable supplies, was equal to or less than $30,000. 50,000 for public service bodies in a calendar quarter and over the last 4 consecutive calendar quarters. So basically, if you have less than $30,000 in revenue, you don't have to register for HST. Now, that's great. My recommendation is to register right from the beginning. Why? Well, it sets up habits for you. You get used to collecting money and holding that money in trust of the government. You get used to knowing what your rights are. You start introducing and learning what your rights are with CRA. With HST, when you register, you are a new business, and often you will be encouraged to do a yearly or annual filing. I don't do this. I start off right away with quarterly filings. It's better on cash flow, and it's better for habits. You get used to every 3 months filing your HST. You don't forget. I mean, if you wait 12 months and that money is sitting in your bank account, the likelihood of you using it is there, and you're not allowed to use government money. You are not allowed to fund your company through government money, especially HST. So in my experience, many small business owners get into trouble if they're an annual filer. Some don't, but a lot do. Because when you're starting out, cash is everything. Cash flow is everything. So my recommendation is that anybody who's annual, I usually recommend that they change to quarterly. You have the right to do that. So when you register for HST, you get an HST number, which has a business number. That's different than your master business license. You as an owner, your business number, if you're sole proprietor, is your SIN number. If you're a corporation, you're given a corporate number. But with the government, for collecting money as you are a trustee. They are a partner of you and your business. You're collecting money on their behalf with HST. You're collecting money on their behalf with employees. So you want to make sure that you manage that money really, really well. And this is where audits come in. This is where many small businesses get into big trouble. So that brings me to the next point. Know what you need to do. Go on the CRA website and educate yourself. As a business owner, it is your responsibility, not your accountants, not your bookkeepers, not your staffs, not anybody else's except yours, of what you're responsible for doing. Ignorance is not an excuse at all. You have to be dumb. Sorry, I didn't know. Oh, no. That doesn't go over with CRA. You've taken the leap to be self-employed. This is your responsibility. Know your rights. Get educated. So in the series, this is why I'm introducing it now. Why? Because this is your time to learn what your responsibilities are. What if I hire a person? What are my responsibilities? How do I collect my tax? What's taxable? What am I allowed to expense? What am not allowed to expense? How do I claim back the HST that I pay for? Those are called ITCs. So if you don't know, when you collect money on sales, you're holding that in trust for the government. But as a benefit and as a partnership with the government, you get to claim back. I'm trying to put this in a simple way. You get to take the total money that you collected minus what you paid, and it's the difference that you owe the government. And sometimes you get a refund if you spent more than you brought in. But it's that stewardship. There's that word again, that stewardship. You were a steward of your business, and this is part of your business. Very important. Educate yourself. Go on the CRA website and learn. As a business owner, it's to your benefit to know what your rights are. If you decide to have help, contractors, there are very, very strict rules about contractors. And it's all about control. Who supplies the equipment, etc., etc. If your employee comes in with their own computer, that's one criteria. There's a checklist. Know what those checklists are. Know what your responsibilities are, because you don't want to have these contractors and not be paying CPP and EI, or deducting CPP and EI from employees when you should be. And this is where audits come in. I'm going through an audit right now. So not myself, one of my clients. So again, know your rights, get informed before you start your business. We're doing the setup stage right now. So this is part of the setup. You need to empower yourself and set up the proper accounts with CRA. Okay, that's enough for today. That's a little heavy subject. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about operations. This is when we get into the nitty-gritty of how information flows in your company. And we want to create a really good picture of how that things can always be tweaked, but this is the fun part of having a smooth running company. So again, if you're enjoying the series, please give me a like or say thank you or whatever. If you're not enjoying the series, tell me. I want to know. If there's any information that you want to know, put it in the comments section. I'm more than willing to expand this series if I need to help you. So again, thank you for today. Have a great one.